everyone. Good evening, everyone. I hope my voice is clear to you. Slides are clearly visible to you. So guys, once again, this is Komal Gyamlani Santani here. I welcome you all in the ongoing wonderful 1000 MCQ series that you are watching exclusively on Dhruvika Academy YouTube channel. I hope you all have subscribed to this channel, and yes, you have also kept your notification button, bell button on so that you can receive all the notifications regularly. So guys, as you all know that from few sessions we are solving PYQs and similar type questions in these sessions so that we get an ace over the questions in the exam, right? So let's begin our today's session. Let me tell you guys, in the previous session we have already completed the questions on averages. Many exam oriented questions we have discussed in the previous session. So today some more questions related to algebra we'll be doing today. Okay, so let's begin our today's session. So the first question on your screen, today's session's first question. It says, if the ratio of two numbers is 7:11, if 7 is added to each number, then the new ratio will be 2:3, then the numbers are. Okay, so originally the two numbers were in the ratio 7:11. Okay, now what has happened, if you add 7 to those numbers, to both the numbers, then the new ratio will be 2:3. Okay, then what are the numbers? Originally what were the numbers they are asking you to find? So it's pretty easier to find for you, because just have a look at the options. The original numbers must be in the ratio of 7:11. So just look at the options. Do you find any option in which the numbers are in the ratio of 7:11? So definitely we do have the first option, right? 7 sevens are 49 and 7 11s are 77, right? So without even solving, you should take it as 49:7, that is option A. But if you are not satisfied, we can just solve it quickly and let's check it that whether our options are correct or not. See, if these are the original numbers, so what have they said? 7 is added to each number. So if I add 7 to 49, it becomes what? 56. And if I add 7 to 77, it will become how much? 84. It will become how much? 84. Now they are saying that now the new ratio should come out to be 2:3. Now if you observe very carefully, see, if you could recollect it that 28 2s are 56, then you could easily do it that 28 into 2 is 56 and 28 into 3 would be 84. If not, go slowly by slowly, like cut it by the table of 4, let's say 14, 21. Now it's pretty easier for you, 2/3. Okay, so I believe the question is very clear to you. It should have been done by the option approach very quickly, but in order to satisfy your queries, I've solved it that yes, this is the only answer, because on adding 7 to both the numbers, the ultimate ratio will come out to be 2:3. Okay, now let's proceed to the next question. The ratio of two numbers are 3:4. The difference of their squares is 28. Greater number is, see, you have got two numbers, 3x and 4x. Okay, so this is what we have been taught since childhood. If the numbers are in the ratio, just assume that the numbers are 3x and 4x. Now difference of their squares, right? So what will be the square of 3x? It would be 9x square. What will be the square of 4x? It would be 16x square. Now the difference is 28. So basically it's but obvious that 16x square would be greater than 9x square. So the difference, that means 16x square minus 9x square is equal to what? 28. Is equal to what? 28. So 7x square is equal to 28. 7 ones are 7, 7 fours are 28. So x square is equal to 4. So x would be square root of 4, that is 2. Square root of 4, that is 2. So now, do we need to stop at 2? Yes. Do we need to stop at 2? It's I should say fortunate that you don't have 2 in the options. Many a times the examiner tries to confuse the students by giving the value of x in the option when they haven't asked you to find x, because it's a usual tendency, usual, I should say, a recording in our mind that whenever we are solving the algebra questions, we are required to find x only, right? It's a usual mapping in our mind. So examiner tries to play with your mind. Okay, so be very careful what they have asked you to find and where you have to stop. It's not necessary that you always have to stop at x. Okay, same is the case with this question. What are they asking? Greater number. So you don't have to stop at x, you need to find the greater number. So which is the greater number, guys? 4x. So 4 into 2, 8. Okay, option A. Okay, now next question, guys. Again a good question. It says the price of bicycle and scooter are in the ratio of 7:9. Okay, there are bicycle and scooters, their prices are in the ratio 7:9. So we can definitely assume that their prices are, original prices are 7x and 9x. And further they are saying it's not moped, it's scooter. So the price of bicycle and scooter are in the ratio of 7:9. The price of scooter is rupees 1600 more than that of bicycle. Then the price of scooter is, see, let's assume that the price of bicycle be 7x and scooter be 9x, right? So it's but obvious that scooter is costlier than bicycle, right? Now what are they saying? The price of scooter is 1600 more than that of bicycle. The question is saying scooter is 1600 more than that of bicycle, means the difference between the price of scooter and bicycle is 1600, right? Are you clear, guys? The difference between the price of the bicycle and scooter is how much, guys? It's 1600, right? So simply what we need to do, 9x minus 7x is equal to how much? 1600, right? So 2x is equal to 800, right? Now x is equal to 400. X is equal to 400. So now again we don't need to stop at x. What they have asked you to find? Price of scooter. So how much is the price of scooter, guys? 9x. So what are we going to do? 9 into 400, that's 3600, right? So that's a typing error, it's 3600. Okay, I hope the question is clear to you. I hope the question is clear to you, pretty clear. So I believe it's very clear in your mind that price and scooter are in the ratio 7:9. So we have just assumed their prices to be 7x and 9x. When they are saying that scooter is 1600 more than that of bicycle, that means the difference in their prices is equal to 1600, right? So 9x minus 7x is equal to 600 and 2x is equal to, okay, I have just made one mistake in the calculation, just a second. 9x minus 7x is equal to 1600. 2x is equal to 1600. Now it's correct. 800. X is equal to 800. So there was, I believe, no typing error. Yeah, 7200. So correct option is A, not B. I've just written as 2x is equal to 800. Okay, so I believe the question is clear in your mind. X is equal to 800, and so we need not to stop at X. We are required to find the price of scooter. So 9 into 800 is equal to 7200. Okay, so let's proceed further, guys. Let's proceed further. Again, a good question. It says the ratio of number of boys and number of girls in a school is found to be 15:32. How many boys and equal number of girls should be added to bring the ratio to 2:3? So simply what we need to do, we have been given the ratio as 15:32. Okay, so you just need to add a particular number to the ratio, to a particular number, a quantity to the given ratio, so that the new ratio comes out to be 2/3. The new ratio comes out to be 2/3. Now again, if you want, you can do by the full option, by the full solution approach, that is the lengthy one. What you can do, 15:32. See, if I assume the numbers as number of boys and girls to be 15x, 32x, and then I add y to it, I won't be able to solve it because I'll be having only one equation, and in order to solve linear equation in two variables, you should have two equations. So that approach is not going to help you. So in that case, you have to assume that the number of boys and girls actually are 15 and 32. That would be the assumption, because you cannot proceed in that way, because you will just be left with one equation and you cannot solve it further. So what we are going to assume it, 15 is actually the original number of boys, then you will just add the required number to be added, right? 15 plus x upon 32 plus x, and it should be equal to how much? 2/3. It should be equal to how much? 2/3. So let's quickly solve it. 15 plus x into 3 is equal to 2 into 32 plus x. So that will be 15 into 3, 45, plus 3x is equal to 32 into 2, 64, plus 2x. So just reshuffle the variables and constants in one side. 3x minus 2x is equal to 64 minus 45. So x is equal to how much? 19. That's option B. So this is one approach where you have to make the assumption that actually the number of boys and girls are 15 and 32, where you have to make this assumption. See, I hope you guys are getting that why I have made this assumption. Suppose in your mind there might be question, ma'am, whenever the ratio is given, we assume that the number of boys and girls should be 15x and 32x. Now suppose you assume it as 15x and 32x, right? Now you are required to add the number. So that unknown number you will assume as 5, and then this is equal to 2/3, right? Now if you cross multiply the entire scenario, you will get one linear equation in two variables. But in order to solve linear equation in two variables, you need two linear equations. Only then you can solve it. So that would be pretty difficult for you to solve. Or even you can use option approach when you get stuck in this type of situation. What option approach you can do? What option approach you can basically do is, without assuming that actually the number of boys and girls are 15 and 32, you won't be able to move further. You have to assume it this way only here. Now one way was to solve the way I told you. Other way of solving the question is what? That you assume that number of boys and girls are 15 and 32 and just then add 20 to both of them and see whether you get 2:3 or not. If not, then proceed to the second option, that is 19. Add 19 to both the numbers, that is 15 and 32, and see the new ratio of the new numbers is equal to 2:3 or not. So this way you can approach with the question. Okay. Now let's move to the next question. The ratio of two quantities is 15:17. Okay. They are saying that two numbers are there which are in the ratio 15:17. Fine. If the consequent of its inverse ratio is 15, then the antecedent is. So in order to solve this question, you need to be very clear with the terminologies of the ratio. I hope you are very clear with the terminologies. If not, then go through the ratio and proportion classes in our application where I have explained all the properties. So let's have a quick recall of the properties and then you'll understand how much they are important. I'll just share with you the properties. See, you must be very clear with the properties of ratio, and very important, this property is very, very important, that how is ratio expressed? Basically, what do we do in ratio? We actually compare two or more quantities through which operation of mathematics? Through division. We don't multiply them, we divide them. Now this operation division can be written in which form? Is-to form, right? Suppose I compare the marks of two students A and B, 13 and 10, using ratio. So I am going to divide them, 13 upon 10. Now this 13 upon 10 can be written as what? 13:10. Now this first terminology, the first one, A, we call it as antecedent. What do we call it as? Antecedent. And second terminology, we call it as consequent. Okay, you should remember this, because if the question, as the question came now just few minutes back, is being asked on this thing, antecedent and consequent, then you should be aware of this terminology. So if you are not aware with these terminologies, you won't be able to solve it. Okay, right? So the first term we call it as antecedent and second term we call it as consequent. Now what are they saying? There are two quantities which are in the ratio 15:17. They are saying if the consequent of its inverse ratio is 15. So two things they have given in one sentence. First is consequent and next is inverse ratio. Okay, so what will be the inverse ratio of 15:17? It would be 17:15, right? Inverse ratio would be how much? 17:15, right? Now they are saying consequent of the inverse ratio, that means this 15 is equal to what? Is equal to what? 15 only. See how easy the question becomes. Then the antecedent is, obviously the antecedent would be 17 only. Obviously the antecedent would be 17 only, right? Getting? So it's but obvious, no? Equivalent ratios are always equal, right? So just multiply them, you will get the same thing, x is equal to 17. It is so much easy. What they have done, they have just trapped you in the language. What they have done, they have just trapped you in the language, nothing. Okay, let's proceed further. Now what are they saying? The salaries of A, B and C are in the ratio 2:3:5. Okay, if the increments of 15%, 10% and 20% are allowed respectively to their salary, then what will be the new ratio of their salaries? See, so basically the salaries of A, B, C were in the ratio 2:3:5. So I can say there is no need of actually writing x in that, but still for your convenience I am just writing it. Let their salaries be 2x, 3x and 5x. Now what has happened? Increments of 15%. So we have already discussed this multiple number of times, that if something increases by 15%, it becomes 115% of itself. Okay, if something increases by 15%, it becomes 115% of itself. So 2x is the salary, it is increasing by 15%, that means it is becoming 115% of itself, right? So 2x into 115%. So percentage, I can just remove it and write 100 in the denominator. Then 3x. B's salary is increasing by what? 10%. So if something is increasing by 10%, it is becoming 110% of itself, right? So 3x into 110%. Okay. Now if something is increasing by 20%, that means it's becoming 120% of itself. Fine. Okay. So now what do we basically need to do? We just need to solve it further. 100 will get cancelled, x will get cancelled. We need to find a new ratio, right? So I could see divisibility by 5. So 115 divided by 5, it would be 23. Then it would be 22. Then it would be 24, right? Yes. Now you could see divisibility by 2, that is 2 is the common factor. 1s are, 11s are and 12s are. Now you're just left with 23 is 2, 33 is 2, 60, right? Right? I hope it's clear. I hope it's clear. The question is pretty clear in your mind. 23 is to 33 is to 60. So that is option C. That is option C. Okay. Okay. Alright. Let's proceed to the next question, guys. So before I proceed to this question, I would like to ask you that have you subscribed our YouTube channel? Have you got yourself registered with us? Guys, we are providing you a number of facilities in this batch, that is SAMRAT PGCET 2024 for MCA and MBA students of Karnataka. You are getting a number of facilities, like you can watch live classes in the application of Dhruvika Academy and get all your queries resolved then and then. In case you miss the classes, you have an option of watching recorded classes. Anyhow, your any session won't be missed at any cost. Along with that, you get an opportunity to participate in 50 plus mock tests along with ranking facility in Karnataka. And if you get yourself registered now, you will get an automatic access to all the upcoming batches till September. So that is the validity of this registration is till September. So guys, if you haven't yet got yourself registered, quickly get yourself registered, because batches have already started. Classes are already going on. So quickly book your seat, get yourself registered and start your preparations with us. Okay? And yes, make sure that you follow our YouTube channel, join our WhatsApp group where you will get all day-to-day updates regarding exam, syllabus, curriculum, examination date, upcoming classes, batches, everything. So quickly get yourself registered with us, guys. Okay, so let's proceed to this question. It says, in a department, the number of males and females are in the ratio 3:2. Okay, if 2 males and 5 females join the department, then the ratio becomes 1:1. initially the number of females in the department is. Okay, so let's solve this question. It says in a particular department there were some males, there were some females. Their ratio was 3:2. So original number of males, number of females were how much? 3x and 2x, right? Now what happened to these numbers? 2 males and 5 females joined. So 3x plus 2 and 2x plus 5. Okay, 3x plus 2 and 2x plus 5. This change happened and the new ratio comes out to be 1:1. Okay, so let's quickly solve this and find the value of x. But are we required to find only x? No, we need to do further calculations also to answer the question. So 3x plus 2 is equal to 2x plus 5. So 3x minus 2x is equal to 5 minus 2. So that is x is equal to 3. X is equal to 3. So what they have asked you to find number of females in the departments. So 2 into 3, that is 6. Option B. That is option B. So I believe the questions of today's session are pretty clear in your mind and you are going to practice them after the class, because you will find similar questions in the exam. These are PYQs and similar questions of PYQs. So make sure that you solve these questions very well and get an edge over these questions, and so that you don't face any problem in the class, in the exam. So with this note that you have already subscribed with us, you are already with us, I take your leave and will meet you tomorrow again with some more interesting questions of your exam. Till then, take care of yourself. Bye bye. Thank you so much.